I hope I'm in focus. I got a new lens, but I'm figuring out how to use it. Just a disclaimer, the rest of this video was filmed 1 year ago. You can tell by how different my hair color is, and I loved watching plant tour videos, so I thought I'd make one of my own. So I made one. I just finally uploaded it, so enjoy. Why don't you love me, Odie? What's up? It's time for a plant tour that nobody asked for. I am a basic plant bitch now, and I can't stop, but it just brings me peace. So let's go on a little tour. So this is my editing room. I've recently turned it into that. It used to be a storage room. The laptop that I used to edit on would crash like every 5 minutes, so I lucked out. I happened to know someone who works at an animation studio, and they were revamping all their computers, so they had about over 100 computers to get rid of. So I got one, and this one doesn't crash, and it has made editing so much easier. So of course I had to put some plants here. This is a north-facing window. I have a Sansevieria. I think this is called I don't remember. It's called I don't remember what it's called, Sansevieria. I of course have a ZZ plant, which is relatively new. Got it from IKEA. Next is a jasmine plant, which smells incredible. People say it smells like, I forgot the name. If I remember the name of the flower it smells like, I'll put it here, but it had a bunch of blooms, but now it's all dead. But actually blooms surprisingly easy. I heard that it needs a lot of indirect light in order to bloom, but it's been doing fine in a north-facing window. And this is a recent purchase. It's a Marble Queen Pothos. I got it from Home Depot for like 12 bucks. Home Depot is the freaking shit, man. The variegation on these leaves are just beautiful. Some of them got damaged during the trip home, unfortunately. It is just super bushy and healthy. I mean, like, look at these. The variegation on these leaves are just beautiful. I have a Peperomia Rana Verde, I think it's called. It's pretty low maintenance. It doesn't yellow at the tips, it doesn't turn brown. They're pretty low maintenance, actually. Here I have a succulent that has stretched a bit. I'm not a big fan of succulents. I used some hot glue and jute string to wrap this pot, which I think makes it look a bit better. And I think this is the rarest plant that I have. It's a Madagascar Jewel, and based on what I've noticed, you can't buy these in stores. What I've noticed is you can only get these if you know someone who has one of these, because somebody who has one will have a lot of propagations, because this little thing here, these are the little seeds, and when they're ready, the plant literally spits it like 3 to 6 feet across the room. And it's pretty low maintenance. It's grown in a north-facing window its whole life. It has only ever lost one leaf because it's yellowed, and it pushes out a new leaf like every week or two. You can see it's doing that now. It is like a weird looking plant. I'm a little scared that these seeds are gonna spit into my eye because I look at them so much, and I'm just waiting for them to pop because I really want to propagate it. It's a lovely plant. As you can see, it was gifted to me in this pot. I normally prefer to keep all of my plants in a nursery pot and then put it in a cache pot, but somehow managed to live. It's technically a succulent, but it needs more water than a regular succulent, or it's better, it copes with overwatering a lot better than most succulents. It's just what I found to be a super low maintenance plant. And onto my bedroom. So here is the Sansevieria that I talked about earlier that I got from IKEA for 25 bucks. I had to repot it because it was so root bound that it wasn't flat on the bottom. Like, I couldn't lay it on the ground without it topping over. So as a result of that, the roots loosened up. So I put a little string around it that I'm just gonna leave it there until the roots settle. And hopefully it'll stay a bit upright. And then there's this big money tree that I've had for a while. It's a little droopy and I don't really know why. Again, I prefer to have all my plants in a nursery pot and then in a cache pot, but this was my mom's plant technically and she put it in there, so yeah, it seems to be doing fine. It's It's always pushing out new leaves, even when I'm neglecting it a bit. You can see there. Then over here, I have a few plants on my little shelf. Got a Neanthobella or a parlor palm, which again, it's pretty low maintenance. I'm kind of surprised. I've got a peace lily. When I bought it from the store, it had one bloom, but that died and now it's not coming back. I have a problem with it getting a little yellow-brown tips. I don't know how to stop it, but overall pretty low maintenance. Then I have a silver sparkle pilea, which is just precious. Ugh. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's kind of like a silvery green. Beautiful. I can't wait till it grows up more. And then over here, I've got a polka dot plant. Beautiful colors. I'm sorry, I'm shaking so much. I'm trying to stay still, but so far it's been pretty low maintenance. I've heard that these can be pretty finicky if you try to grow them indoors, but I've been having good luck so far. I keep it at a north-facing window, and it's right by the window, so it gets a lot of draft and a lot of cold air comes in, but it's doing fine, so pretty cold hardy based on my experience. So in the living room, I have some more plants and some one off of macrame hangers. So, there's this. So this is my Monstera that I got recently from Home Depot. I think it was only like 20 bucks. It wasn't in the best shape. I only got it a few days ago. There was just a lot of damage on the leaves where it got injured, but I think with a little bit of love and care, I can make it grow pretty well. I've got a maidenhair fern. I hate this thing because it's so fragile. It died off once because I used to keep it at work. It looked happy on a Friday. When I went back to work on Monday, it was all dried out and dead. So I cut it down to the soil, and I eventually got it to grow back like this. But I just can't keep the soil from drying out. So if I stick my finger in the soil and if the top like ½ inch is dry, then I water it. You can tell I forgot to do that a couple times because it's not the happiest thing. I'm not a fan of high maintenance things. The lady at the plant shop told me it's about the same care as an asparagus fern, which the one I have, I left it at work, but it's super happy. But that was not true. A maidenhair fern is nothing like an asparagus fern. These things are diva ass bitches. I don't like you. It's probably dying because of all the hate that I'm sending towards it. Another plant that I hate is the terrace fern. This one's not as high maintenance as the maidenhair, but I just don't think it's cute. I don't know why I got it. It looks like a salad. I don't know. Then I have this sago palm, which is beautiful. The tips are spiky, so if you touch it, it hurts. It's at a north-facing window. I don't do much with it. I barely water it because it holds a lot of water at the base here. Yeah, it's a very slow-growing plant. It hasn't done much, hasn't changed much. It's just beautiful and spiky. Yeah. So I've got a couple propagations of my oyster plant. This one is doing, you curious? This one is doing pretty well. The other one is it's got a hunchback. I propagated some of my sugar vines, and I propagated these at the same time, and they were approximately the same size. As you can see, one of them is thriving, and the other one, for some reason, just had stunted growth. The soil got moldy, and I don't know why. This one is just struggling to live. This one has depression. This one does not. If you hear my dog whining, it's because he wants some of those sweet potato treats that I baked today. I already gave you so much. I gave you so much. Don't be a pig. I'll give you more tomorrow. I also have this oyster plant, which is beautiful. It's got the undersides of the leaves just have the most beautiful color. I have 2 of these. You can tell that I took some propagations here, but it's growing just fine. And one of them's hanging from a macrame. These are some golden pothos cuttings that I took from a plant at work, and I just planted it, so it's settling. I've got a African milk cactus here, which is about 15 years old. It's quite old. Definitely the oldest plant that I have in the house. It's even in a photo of me as a young kid where you can see that the cactus is younger and so am I. I've got the sad string of pearls that is balding at the top, but it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this guy does. Then I have the sugar vine, which I repotted it like twice in the same pot, just because this pot doesn't have drainage holes. And I've always struggled with it because I felt like 2.5 weeks would go by and the soil wouldn't dry out. So I tried repotting it, tried doing things. I was scared of it getting root rot. And so it's a little bit unhappy, but somehow it's surviving. It's a really hardy plant. Again, a north-facing window. I've got some green onions here, which some of these I just planted. It would do better in a higher lighting, but this is what I got. I've got some Sansevieria propagations. It's the same one as in my editing room, and you can see it's rooting. Yay! I think I've left it in here for about a month. It's taken a while. Kind of surprising because this one I thought was getting moldy and that it was gonna die, but it's actually forming some roots. Got more propagations of the oyster plant here. They haven't formed roots yet. And over here, I've got a wandering Jew. I got this for 12 bucks from Home Depot. Wonderful. It's fairly new. I don't really know where to put it yet. Got another peperomia, I think it's called. This reminds me of a funeral because it looks like death. I've got a purple shield, which the lower leaves are really bleaching, and I don't know, it's generally not super happy, but it seems like the consensus is that everyone who owns a Persian plant, the lower leaves bleach, so maybe that's just a normal thing. It also did like a weird puckering thing over here. I don't know what's up with that. Here, got a Coleus, don't know how to say that. Here's a Hawthornia. Again, super low maintenance. There's a dog, probably my favorite plant, but the most high maintenance. I've got a couple Hoyas here, which I just planted in the same pot. They probably have different watering needs. The big one probably needs less water, but I got lazy and just plopped them in the same one. A succulent, again, not a big fan of succulents, but this is kind of cute, how it's got a little rosebud. It was stretching so much that I cut off the tip and now it's got a little rosebud. And over there is a celery. I just put that in there today, so it does not have roots. Once it roots up, I'll put it in a pot, probably with the green onions. Yeah, that's my plant tour. They're just very meditative. As you can see, most of them don't have cover pots. One, because they're expensive. Buying plants is expensive already. Two, because I don't grow plants for aesthetics. I like it for that nurturing feeling, watching them be happy and thrive, and that's because I took care of you. I took care of you, babies, and that just makes me feel so useful and valuable. I love it. And it definitely teaches you patience because plants do not grow overnight. Some of them take months to grow, and you just have to keep on waiting and being patient and just keep on going at it. Isn't that a perfect metaphor for everything in life? Hi, love. Hey, Scoobers. It's meditative and stress relieving. Whenever I am stressed out, I go around tending to my plants, taking off all the dead roots, misting them, making sure they're well watered. Sprite, come here. Yum yum. Come here. Oh. Hello. What do you think? What do you think of my plants? Do you give any shits at all? Do 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 do. I love you. Why don't you love me? Why don't you love me? Anyway, hope you like the plant tour. I'm probably gonna buy more, but I think I'm almost at my cap. I've got plants near every possible window. And here's my very sad 1-year update. This Madagascar jewel, I believe, needs to be repotted because it's looking a little sad, a little droopy. I actually had to get rid of almost all my plants because I adopted this little guy. And he likes to munch on plants, including the ones that are toxic to cats. So I gave away almost all my plants. These are the only ones I have remaining. Luckily, he doesn't seem to like thick leaves and plants, so he leaves these guys alone. It is still spitting out seeds, luckily. I think once I repot it, it'll be a lot happier. If he sounds miserable, it's because he's waiting for dinner. It's almost dinner time, but not quite. I don't remember if I had this Hawthornia the first time I filmed. So there's Hawthornia and some snake plant cuttings, which the pieces that I actually cut in the middle are not really growing. I guess the roots went down and that's why the new sprouts are coming up. So there are 3 new sprouts coming up. I mean, I guess it's exciting, but I don't really care for this too much. I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing with this. I know once it's bigger, Odie's gonna try to eat it, so I'm probably gonna have to give this one away too. Oh. Hello. As long as you don't eat it, it's okay. Oh gosh. He's just a very curious guy. Please. I love that plant. It is so rare and weird and it spits seeds. Please don't eat it. So it's kind of a sad ending because this is all that's left because of Odie, but I'm also growing some plants outside in the backyard, some crops, and hopefully that does well next year. But yeah, I guess that's the end for indoor plants for me. Odie, you want dinner? 저녁?